So this weekend we decided to head over to Jekyll Island State Park in Georgia. It's about 2 hours north of our location here in Palm Coast, Florida. One thing to keep in mind before I get started is that because this is a state park and on top of that there's a nearby airport, I was unable to record any drone footage. Now, Jekyll Island is a really unique place to check out with lots to do. One of the biggest draws to this park during this time of the year is their annual Island Treasure Hide and Seek adventure. From January 1st through February, there are hidden globes that can be found all around the island. If you find one of these plastic globes, you can bring them to the Jekyll Island Information Center and exchange a plastic globe for a one-of-a-kind glass ball. And no, we were not lucky enough to find one on this trip. On top of the treasure hunting, there are lots to see and explore on this beautiful island between the historic district, trails, sea turtle center, horseback riding, boating, beaches, fishing piers, restaurants, camping, fishing, and shopping, just to name a few. One of the best ways to explore Jekyll Island is by bicycle, where you can travel over 20 miles of bike paths. Now let's go ahead and explore one of my favorite parts of the island, which is Driftwood Beach. Driftwood can form in multiple ways, but ultimately it's the result of erosion and saltwater. The driftwood at this location formed many years ago when this particular beach was what we call a maritime forest. This is essentially a wooded habitat or forest close to an estuary or ocean. Over time, as water levels increase, there had been more and more exposure to salt, which of course kills off the trees that are not adapted to the salt exposure, unlike mangroves, which we talked about in a previous video. After the tree dies, after many years of erosion have occurred from the salt, the wind, and the rain, that led to these giant pieces of driftwood that give this beach its name. While here, I noticed an abundance of sea foam, likely due to the higher tide variations from the current full moon, resulting in a spring tide. Sea foam is normally harmless and is essentially nature's protein skimmer. Sea foam is basically just dissolved organic matter like proteins, oils, and dead algae that has been churned up from the waves and wind.